A baby monkey at a Tokyo zoo was rejected by his own mother just days after birth. The zookeepers handed him a stuffed animal to hold on to, and he never let go. What happened next turned a tiny, trembling macaque into a symbol the entire world couldn't stop talking about. His name was Punch, and from the very first moment you see him, clutching that plush toy like it's the only thing keeping him together, which honestly it kind of was, you understand immediately why millions of people looked at this little guy and felt something deep in their chest. But here's what makes this story more than just a cute animal video. There's a reason the hashtag #HangInTherePunch exploded across every platform, a reason parents were showing this story to their kids, a reason grown adults were crying at their phones at 2 in the morning. We're going to get to that, but first, let's back up. Japanese macaques, the kind with the bright red faces and the thick winter coats, are some of the most socially complex primates on the planet. They live in tight-knit family groups, where bonds are everything. Touch is everything. A mother's warmth isn't just comfort, it's survival. So when a baby macaque is rejected at birth, it's not just sad, it's a genuine crisis. Without that physical contact, without something warm to press against, infant primates can go into a kind of emotional freefall. Their stress hormones spike, their development stalls. Some simply don't make it. Punch was rejected almost immediately after birth. The exact reason isn't always known in these cases. Sometimes a first-time mother is overwhelmed. Sometimes there are health complications. Sometimes instinct just doesn't kick in the way everyone hopes. Whatever the reason, Punch found himself alone in a way that no hours-old baby should ever be. The zookeepers at Tamagawa Zoological Park in Tokyo acted fast. They knew he needed warmth and something to grip. Infant macaques have a powerful grasping reflex, the kind hardwired in from the very beginning to hold on to mom. So they gave him a stuffed animal, a small, soft plush toy, something he could wrap his tiny arms around. And here's the part that gets us every time. He held on. He just held on with everything he had. Photos and videos of Punch clinging to that stuffed toy started circulating online almost immediately. And something happened that the internet doesn't always do. It responded with pure, uncomplicated love. No discourse, no debate, just millions of people looking at this tiny creature holding on as tight as he could and thinking, I know exactly how that feels. Now, we promised you we'd explain why this story hit so differently, why it wasn't just another cute animal moment that fades in a week. Here it is. Punch went viral during a stretch of time when a lot of people were exhausted, when the phrase "hang in there" had stopped feeling like a motivational poster and started feeling like something people actually needed to hear. And a baby monkey, who had no idea any of this was happening, became the most honest, unguarded version of that message anyone had seen in years. He wasn't performing resilience. He wasn't pretending to be okay. He was just holding on to the one soft thing he had. That's it. And somehow, that was enough to reach people in a way that words couldn't. Here's something worth sitting with for a second. The image of an animal, any animal, clinging to something for comfort, has a long documented history of moving humans in ways we don't fully understand. There's actually a fascinating parallel in an unexpected place. In the early 1930s, a pilot and designer named William Hawley Bowlus built a glider called the Baby Albatross, a fragile, elegant machine with a wingspan of over 44 feet, built from wood and aluminum tubing and fabric stretched across its wings. Bowlus designed it as a kit that everyday people could afford and assemble themselves, during a time when money was scarce and the dream of flight felt impossibly out of reach. The whole point of the Baby Albatross was that you didn't have to be rich or powerful to reach for something. You just had to be willing to hold the pieces together and trust that they'd carry you. That glider, now preserved at the Smithsonian, is a relic of ordinary people reaching for something beautiful in hard times. There's something in that image, that idea, that rhymes with Punch holding his stuffed animal. Both of them fragile, both of them built around the simple act of holding on. Back to Punch. The zookeepers in Tokyo were careful. They knew that a stuffed animal wasn't a mother. They worked around the clock to hand-raise him, feeding him, keeping him warm, monitoring his health. Caring for a rejected infant macaque is genuinely demanding work. Every feeding, every check-in, every small sign of progress was something the team celebrated quietly. And Punch did progress, slowly then steadily. He started gaining weight. His eyes got brighter. He became more alert, more curious about the world around him. He still held that stuffed animal, but now he was also starting to look around, starting to notice things, starting to become, in the most wonderful way, a little more like himself. The internet followed every update. Every photo the zoo shared was met with tens of thousands of comments from people in countries Punch would never visit, rooting for him like he was family, because in a strange, beautiful way, he was. He was the family we all made when we decided collectively that this one small creature was going to be okay. And he was. He grew, he thrived. He became a young macaque with bright eyes and a personality that the zookeepers clearly adored. The stuffed animal became less necessary over time, but the story, the image, the feeling it left behind, that didn't go anywhere. That's what the best animal stories do. They don't just make you feel warm for a minute.
They remind you of something true, that holding on counts, that being cared for matters, that one person, or one team of zookeepers, deciding to show up for something small and vulnerable can ripple out further than anyone expects. Punch didn't know he was going viral. He didn't know about the hashtag or the comment sections or the people crying at their phones. He just knew he had something warm to hold and people who kept showing up for him. And somehow, that was everything. If you've ever been the one holding on, or the one showing up for someone who was, this one was for you. Tell us in the comments, have you ever had an animal story that just completely undid you? One that hit somewhere you didn't expect? We read every single one. Drop it below. And if Punch made you feel even a flicker of something good today, hit the like button. It genuinely helps us find more stories just like this one and bring them to more people who need them. Subscribe if you haven't yet. We're here every week with the stories that remind you why the world is still